Well, Dad, Bedlam.
Bedlam!
Bedlam.
Bedlam!
We lost again.
I'm sick right now.
Yeah. So that happened.
Yeah.
Welcome. I'm Britton. I'm here with my co-host, also my dad, Todd. How you doing, Dad?
Doing well. Other than a stomach ache.
Really, or?
No.
Oh. Well, and this is another sad edition of Days of Us Sooners, where we do the never-ending soap opera that is Oklahoma Sooners football. I am your host, Britton, again. Yeah, so here we are. Bedlam.
Bedlam!
Bedlam.
Bedlam!
Okay, we'll stop. Okay, we'll stop over our head.
Well, it's over.
Yeah, and of course, I was about to go to Gallows Humor and be like, well, I hope Brent doesn't bail on us like the last time we lost Bedlam. But no, it didn't happen. We're good.
So the Bedlam series is over.
Well, for now, until we play them again.
How do you feel about that? As a Sooner fan.
It feels like the end of an era.
Yeah.
You know?
100 and how many years? 109? 104?
Something like that. And apparently the most lopsided rivalry in the history of college football. Or one of them.
107, 108, 109 years, yeah. Very lopsided, 91-20. I think it's still fairly lopsided, but the OSU fans feel like they came out on top of that series somehow.
Well, it's almost like they won the national championship when they beat us.
Yeah. So
it's like when we beat Texas a few weeks ago.
True.
A month ago, actually. My gosh.
Well, the Sooners did everything possible to allow the little brother to win, and the final game of the series. So.
I know. I'm reminded of a conversation I had with an old friend of ours. His name's Jordan. I call him Hoss because he'd wear this cowboy hat. We were talking. He's a Texas fan, and we were talking about OU Texas 2021, and he's like, OU didn't beat Texas that day. Texas beat Texas. Well, let me just flip that around. OSU did not beat OU. OU beat OU by It's just I fear, when Texas won, I took that as a bad sign.
Yeah, you mentioned that at the time, and we'll talk about that a little later. But like I said, we did everything possible to let little brother win that final game in the series, and finally, little brother took advantage and then hung on to win the game there at the end.
I don't know how we've gone from looking like a powerhouse to looking like the sloppiest team in the history of football in 3 weeks. It's kind of ridiculous. I've heard a lot of theories thrown around, but I don't know which one to latch on to. Did we lose our fire after Texas? Like, I don't know.
I think that is some of it. I'm not with the team or anything like that, but remember, a few weeks ago when we beat them, I said, watch, these other teams they're dying to beat us, It's their Super Bowl, just like you said a minute ago. So
you mean national championship?
It's their national championship. So if they can beat the Sooners, then they've got a good season.
There's an irony there, because we actually, when we were, I don't want to say sucking, I'd say we were a pretty average team last year, but teams we beat were Iowa State, Kansas, and Oklahoma State.
Right.
Oklahoma State and Kansas have beaten us now.
They wanted
it. There's irony there somewhere.
Yes, there is some irony in there, but it took 3 stupid turnovers.
Yep.
It took a 97-yard drive with the help of the referees, which are obviously Big 12 cronies cheating.
I don't even want to get started on that blatant pass interference that they didn't bother to call.
Blatant no-call pass interference in the end zone is what you're mentioning. where Drake Stoops was dragged down. You basically
you couldn't just put you could have had a sign saying pass interference on that play, and they didn't call it. It was ridiculous.
Any other week, you barely bump into a guy in his pass interference. This guy grabs his arm, drags him out of bounds. No call. Didn't see it.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was just a sloppy game all around. It just probably a good game. I mean, it was pretty sloppy. Even OSU played a pretty good game, but I don't know. We're just kind of. I'm just hoping I'll just put it this way. I just hope we get our head out of our ass because we lost last week. I was like, okay, we were gonna lose at some point. It's to Kansas. That sucks, but you know what? Whatever. Now I'm concerned. What? Come on, Sooners. Get your head back in the game.
We went from playoff aspirations to we're not going to make the Big 12 championship unless chaos prevails here at the end of the season. But I've seen it happen before. I'm not saying we're out of it, but of the Big 12 championship, we're out of the national championship picture.
I didn't think we were going to win a national championship this year anyway, so I'm fine with it. But I'm still disappointed.
I am too.
I really do want to see a national championship while I'm alive. While I got these years left.
It's gonna happen. You're young.
When I'm not a fetus. Yes. That's the last time we won.
That's true. You were alive, but you were a fetus. So. Not a good memory when you're a fetus. It's hard to remember things.
I don't remember it.
Yeah. But the Pokes got it done, and their fans, totally classless. Totally classless.
Oh. I saw they took their, they pulled a Kansas. I think I heard Kansas did didn't you tell me Kansas did the same thing? They took their field goal down, and they threw it into the river.
I understand Kansas. Yeah. They've won 5 games in the last, 10 years. But OSU tearing down the goalpost because they beat OU,
You beat us in 2021.
I mean, 2 years ago. They didn't tear down the goalpost then, right? But their fans are bragging about the win, calling BS on obvious interference calls. It's obvious what happened.
Yeah, I know.
There were other plays in the game where there were bad calls on our side. And I asked, which play are you talking about? Well, I don't remember which play, but they must have happened. So there's that. And then I don't know if you've seen this on Facebook, but as the OU buses are pulling out of Rust-Oleum Field there in Stillwater, the OSU fans are lined up, flipping off the buses. And I even had a friend of mine on Facebook. I saw him put a post on there that said something like, SEC you later. Ooh, clever. Very clever. So, I saw grown men weeping.
I was about to say I saw that. So I think I read that on your little thing that you have. So. God, you beat us 2 years ago. Why are you crying? I guess it's because it's the last game. And
okay. So, well, you're going to miss us. I understand that. You're weeping because you're going to miss us. You're going to take a 4-6 season, come into the final game of the season, in other years, and hope to beat OU so you can save your season. That's gone. That's gone. Who are you going to say?
Well, OSU's always been better than 4-6. I thought.
Well, you hadn't been alive that long. So now little brother's going to get.
Well, I'm talking about during the Gundy era because that's when I've been alive.
Yeah, true. They've been better than that in the Gundy era, but now little brother's going to get their butt kicked by the likes of Utah and the other Pac-12.
Going to go up against Deion.
Entries. Deion's going to be whipping up on that. K-State's going to be beating that down. Iowa State.
Even though they beat Kansas State.
There's going to be nobody to save the season now that the Sooners gone. So we'll see how it goes. So anyway,
just a massive disappointment all around. Yeah. Just you lost again.
Here's what I say: good riddance, little brother. We're going off to college, bigger and better things.
No, you're not gonna miss Bedlam.
I might miss beating up on them a little bit. I'm not going to miss it that much. Now, if Texas was leaving, that one I would miss.
yeah, that
one I would miss.
God, well, we have a college football
together.
Season. Like, God.
Yeah, why even play? If
we're not going to play Texas. Yeah.
So.
I guess it was sort of when we decided to go to SEC. We're like, we're not going without Texas because it wouldn't be college football.
That's right. There's some traditions that you have to keep, and that was one of them. So, anyway, let's get to the actual game. So, how did you think Dylan played? Yeah.
I saw a lot of Sooners fans getting mad at that PI call, and don't get me wrong, understandable. I was just like, how did they not call that?
Right.
But that was not the game killer.
Yeah, no. Oh, no.
The game killer was just... Oh, I can't even say it. It's hurting my brain right now.
The 4th and 5? Playing it short?
Yes. Let's see. Jeff Lebby's play calling again. I'm just... God, I feel like a broken record at this point.
It's getting old. I'm getting tired of saying it. I'm getting tired of saying it.
Either learn from your mistakes, which he is not doing.
Right.
Or get lost.
Yeah, which he's not doing yet.
I hope Venables gets some sense and tears him a new ones. Hey, get better with that offensive play call, or you're gone.
Well, Gabriel,
because he did the same crap he was doing last week. We get a great interception, blows the drive. They do this stupid play where Barnes just freaking drops the ball.
I think John Rame, is that his name? John Rame, the center?
Oh.
I think he had money on the game. The Mafia got
There was a couple of botched snaps from him.
He snaps it to Barnes. Barnes, I mean, how many years has Barnes been playing football? Is this his second year or something?
Maybe
he doesn't know just to drop on the ball. Bad play, let's just drop on the ball. Let's recover it right there. No, he wants to hand it to Dylan and see what Dylan can do after a botched play. So that's
to be fair,
but it was Rame's fault. Bad snap.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he probably was caught off guard and he wasn't thinking really. He probably wasn't thinking straight.
I was thinking straight, and I haven't played that much football in my life. I was like,
you
weren't
on it. You weren't in the game.
Yeah. And then,
even though you probably wanted to be at several points.
Then later, OSU goes on their 97-yard drive. We get the ball back. We're thinking, okay, we got plenty of time. What does Rame do? He snaps it when Gabriel's not even looking off of his shin so hard that it bounces forward, back up into the line. So OSU gets the ball back on the very next play. Now, luckily, the defense holds them to 3 there.
Yeah, I was gonna say our defense was actually kind of looking. I don't know if it was just they were sloppy those first couple of rounds, or if OSU was just really rolling on offense, or both. I don't know, but they were kind of sloppy at first, but then they got their act together.
They played good enough for us to win.
Yeah, I was about to say their defense has really been carrying us these last couple games.
The defense is giving up some touchdowns, which that's what you're going to give up some touchdowns, but they've played good enough for us to win. Now, you can't win when you start the second half and you throw a bad interception. You have 2 crucial fumbles.
I forgot about. How many turnovers? Oh my gosh,
3 turnovers.
Get a drinking game with the turnovers. It was ridiculous.
So, 26 of 37, 344 yards. Sounds good on paper, but overall, just way too sloppy overall for the offense to get any kind of rhythm and consistency going. So
yeah, I was just,
and Gabriel. The stats look good, but he's throwing the ball behind the line half the time.
Well, again, I've said it before. I think he's a good quarterback. Now, to say he's a Heisman contender, I think is very generous. Yes. But he's like a Landry Jones tier quarterback. Frustrating, competent, but frustrating. Big.
I think Landry would slap your mouth over that comment. That's what I'm thinking. Landry Jones is the all-time passing leader in Oklahoma football. Okay.
Really? I didn't think he was
slow.
I didn't think he was that good when he was
All-time leading passer. Look it up.
Oh, well, I'll have
slow.
to.
Slow. Couldn't move. Grable's a better scrambler than Landry, but Landry definitely had a better arm. Landry played the NFL 5 years.
Yeah, that's
he didn't
true.
play. He held the clipboard, but I don't think Dylan's going to get a chance to hold the clipboard. So anyway, I'm ready for the Jackson Arnold era to begin if he stays after Levy is fired. That's the big talk on.
It's the big concern.
Social media. So we'll see.
Even though Arnold said several times, even before he came here, he's like, "Hey, I made up my mind. OU."
Yeah,
but
his
whatever.
buddy's here. He talked his buddy Peyton Bowen into coming here. So at least I would hope he would give it one season. And who's going to pick up Levy after this showing after the last 2 years? So I can't see a big time college picking him up right away.
He's just frustrating.
He's going to have to show something for some big time Power 5.
And again, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm like, damn it, I'm missing Lincoln Riley and his offensive guru-ness. Dang it.
I
hate it.
He is good at what he's good at.
I feel the bile coming out of my mouth right now.
Lincoln Riley with this defense, we'd be unstoppable. Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams with this defense, we would be
the Alabama.
Yeah.
We would be Alabama.
Yeah. Unbeatable.
I was about to say, I don't know. Lincoln had his fair share of flaws, but
but he never had a defense. He always had Grinch running that defense.
That's true.
We are improved on defense.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so running back. So first series, Sawchuck's out there. Tawi's hurt. Bust 64-yarder like I knew he could do. I knew it all season that Sawchuck had it in him. There was no reason. And he finally got his timing right. It was blocked perfectly. He kind of waltzed into the end zone.
Yeah, I know. That was great. That was a great response. I mean, like I said last week, and a bunch of people were because a lot of people were just, I call them the doom and gloom fans, were complaining about the game. And I'm like, guys, it looks like we're getting our running game figured out, Yeah.
13. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Tawi came back in, but
13 carries, 111 for Sawchuck. But in all of Levy's wisdom, Sawchuck's playing great. Let's go ahead and pull him out of the game, and let's put an injured Tawi in. Now, I'm going to give the kid credit. You could tell he was hurt. He was running like 3/4 speed. You can see him limping while he's running, but he manages 8 carries, 59 yards. He's got the timing of that blocking scheme down. Scores a big touchdown to put us in the lead. So, I guess he knew what he was doing. Why Barnes was in the game for his one fumble, no clue on
Poor
that.
Poor guy.
Levy is always out-cuting himself. Always out-cuting him. No reason for Barnes to be in the game. He hasn't done anything all year. Guarantee he's transferring after this year. He is not going to be on the team.
He could join Weiss and Mizzou.
Yeah, he can go there with Weiss. So, anyway, running backs played pretty well other than Barnes' fumble. Wide receivers, what do you say about Drake Stoops? Are we going to miss him next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that. That guy's like OU royalty, man.
Nosed, yeah. He just
can catch the ball.
Chiseled right out of Bob Stoops.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Bob.
Looks just like him, tough like him. Bob Stoops, broken pinky finger lays sideways, plays on a knee that he's got a torn meniscus. Goes ahead and plays the rest of the year. This is Bob Stoops. Drake right there. That's him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Nails. I'm gonna miss him.
Another baffling call was that last minute. Mm-hmm. Why do you pass it? Throw it up the field. Mm-hmm. Throw it up. Even you said it to me. Even Gundy knew what he was going to do. Uh-huh. That's embarrassing.
4th and 5. We're on the left hash. So let's run a 3 and out into the boundary, into the sidelines. So there is no room to make a move. It's just a horrible call. And he rolls him out that way. So the whole defense is flowing towards the play.
Yeah, offense was just... It felt like a collapse.
Yeah.
It just was... Even
Venables, the coaches, maybe in private, he might have ripped him. I understand that. But even Venables, on one of the shows that I watched yesterday, I can't remember which one it was.
What did Venables do? What did he say?
Venables said, we had a Rolodex. You know what a Rolodex is?
The watch?
A Rolodex. No, that's a Rolex.
Oh.
A Rolodex is this thing back in the olden days before we had cell phones that you would write everybody's phone number in it, and you could spin it around, and it had these little cards on there. He said he had a Rolodex of plays better than that play to gain 5 yards. That was on national TV. He says that. So for Venables to say that on national TV, I don't know what he said to him in private.
Why did he? Or do you mean Levy, or do you mean?
He said that about Levy. He said he had a Rolodex of better plays to gain 5 yards.
Levy did, or Venables did?
No, Venables said that about Levy. Okay, guys got to go. Guys got to go.
Oh God.
13 catches, 111 yards for Drake Stoops. I mean.
Especially that even that pass interference. I don't know if he would have caught it. It probably.
I think he did catch it.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was weird. It kind of was on his body, and
it was one-handed, and he caught it between his knees. It never hit the ground. He caught the ball, but he was out of bounds. They were going to call it incomplete because he was out of bounds, but he was dragged out of bounds on that pace.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm not going to try and defend that. That was terrible.
He still caught the ball. He still caught it. And then we've got Farouk.
Wait, what did Farouk do?
Well, he got rested this week.
Oh yeah, I thought that was last week.
Last week, whatever, you know. The week of the game. The week of the game.
I thought that was before the Kansas game.
No, that was before the OSU game.
Oh,
he gets arrested.
Oh, good.
For not paying traffic tickets. How do you do that?
Oh, it gets even worse.
And then, in the game, he's jumping off sides.
He did that last week, too.
Yeah. Get your head into life, Farouk. It's not going to turn out well.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you say you also had an expired tag?
Yeah, expired tag. Like 8 or 9 tickets.
Oh, man, I bet
doesn't pay them. What do you think's going to happen?
I bet that fine sucked.
You know what happens when you have an expired tag?
Just give free money to the government.
That draws attention to the police officers and says, that's an expired tag. I think I'll pull this guy over. Oh, you got 8 tickets too, and you got warrants out for you? Oh, well, let's go down here and introduce you to the jail cell over here in Norman PD. So, he did manage 7 catches for 98 yards, but what a distraction to the team, and just overall undisciplined.
Yeah,
undisciplined.
The offense, definitely.
Nicky Pooh Anderson, 3 catches, 92 yards, but that drop in the first half, gosh,
that was just unlucky.
Venables says he catches that ball, he bangs his head off the goalpost. He's so wide open, and I agree. He was there.
That was just.
I don't know what he was thinking.
That was just unlucky right there. That's the best I got. I don't know. If
no focus. We just didn't play good enough to win. And then, as good as the defense played, 97-yard drive. We do the little. Okay, we intercept the ball. We run the ball back out to the 50-yard line. Billy Bowen, great interception. Horrible play call by Gundy in that situation.
Well, sure.
Ollie doesn't eat the ball, take the loss. He throws it up for grab like he's some kind of quarterback. We make the good interception, run it all the way back to the 50. What does Levy do? Oh, let me pull out the playbook from last week. Let's just run it 3 times up the middle and not make a first down. We're going to go for it on 4th down. You're saying, what's going on here? This looks like a weird formation. And we're like, pooch kick, right? That's the first time you ever heard that term, right? He pooch kicks it down to the 3-yard line. Perfect. So we've got him backed up. We've got the lead. We've got him backed up. 7-8 minutes left in the game?
Yeah.
3rd and 6. We've got so many guys injured that we've got freshmen in the game. Guys, I didn't even... Vickers. Remember, I was like, why is Vickers in the game?
Poor guy. We'll talk about another bad call. That wasn't even...
the guy shoves him to the ground. The offensive player shoves Vickers to the ground. They call the pass interference on us. That's what I'm talking about, these Big 12 refs.
He also didn't get a block to the back on another play.
Yeah.
That was just... Well.
disgusting.
It was a disgraceful game.
Big 12 should be ashamed.
It's just a terrible game all around.
And then Venables, in all of his wisdom, runs out on the field to argue the call, and they throw another 15 on him. 2 weeks in a row they've had a penalty. He just killed us. So instead of them being on their punting from their end zone, now they've got the ball around midfield, and they go down and score on us. We couldn't overcome all of those.
It was like the Drive, except instead of the talent of the Denver Broncos beating the team, it was the mistakes that OU made.
Mistakes of OU and the talent of the Big 12 referee.
Just loophole abuse. They're so mad we're leaving.
Venables should have walked out and punched him in the mouth.
Probably would have given him more yards.
You're going to get 15, you're going to get 5 of these right here. Knuckle sandwich.
Yeah, you're pulling a Woody Hayes. Isn't that the guy's name who punched the... God, imagine that nowadays. That would just be...
That would probably cost him his job.
Probably worse now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we put up statue after that, though, with the fist up. So, overall, thoughts on Venables' overall coaching in that game?
Well, I mean, I know Venables is a very intense guy. I've heard he's I've seen like back when he was like our defensive coordinator, just running around, doing his. He's kind of like Pete Carroll. He's very excitable man.
They need to hire me as a get back coach.
Yeah.
When I see him running towards the field, I say, "Coach, get back, get back."
Yeah.
Let him punch me a couple of times. That's all right. We didn't get the 15.
I don't know.
And then I think I know what you think of Levy. Go ahead with your comment.
I was just gonna say, I think Venables has some flaws. I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that he's still new. It is only his second year.
Right.
Now, again, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, though it kind of is an excuse anyway. But I digress.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, he doesn't take certain opportunities at times, and I think that's just because he's new. I don't know.
Yeah.
But perhaps with time he'll grow. Because, you said a few weeks ago when we did Red River, you said that the coaching was better.
Yeah.
In terms of...
his coaching is better. I think he's making better decisions. These little penalties, I've never even seen a penalty on the sideline, and we got 2 in a row. So
either Big 12 is really just having it out on us, or Venables is just really bad at controlling himself. I don't know what it is.
What about that play when they called the 12-man? Remember when Gundy came out to the field and he was like wearing out the referee? Did they throw a flag there?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the refs just were not...
Obvious. Obvious. And still the Sooners should have overcome it and should have won the game and could have. They were there to win the game.
Yeah, defense started out sloppy, but got better.
They got it together. Had a lot of turnovers. The 4th down. We're getting great at these little 4th down.
Yeah, stopped them on 4th down twice in a row. That was
intercept
great.
The ball. That's where the offense has to take control of the game, right there. But no, we don't. We're messing around, throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage or running it straight up the middle. We've got to open it up and go for the throat on these with these opportunities we have. Special teams, Schmitty.
Oh yeah, he missed a field goal. I remember you were just like, he's gonna miss it. I'm like, Dad, hold on a minute. Let's see what happens. He misses it, and I just look back at him like, damn you.
That was my fault?
No, I know. It was more just like, you're right.
Yes. All right.
I was mad that you were right. That was what that was.
Let's flush Bedlam. And let's start talking West Virginia. The Mountaineers have beat us all of one time since they've joined the Big 12.
Didn't they beat us in a bowl a few years ago?
They beat us in a bowl. That was before they came into the Big 12.
Pretty good team, though.
Pretty good team.
Hopefully we're not screwing around. I'm hoping that we finally get our head out from wherever we're at right now.
Rear end us?
Yes. And we actually play a solid game. I think we can beat them. But if we keep screwing around like this, well, we'll be back saying the same story.
Mm-hmm.
And probably wanting Jeff Levy's head.
Yeah. What kind of record were you going to be happy with this year? Before the season ever started. Remember, we were 6-7 last year. What were you going to be happy with this year?
Oh, man, I would have been pleased with, like an 8-4 would have been fine.
Okay.
Like, I would have been like, okay, marked improvement.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
All right.
Like 10-2 would have been awesome. I would have been like, man, what a turnaround.
That's what we have the opportunity to do right now. We've got 3 games left. We're 7-2. West Virginia is the next step towards getting to 10-2. We win that game. Then we've got, I believe, a game against BYU and a game against TCU. So
TCU, we're probably going to win that one.
Yeah. So then
they're just
BYU's at their place. But I feel like, if we win this game right here, get a little bit of momentum back on our side, then we can go 10-2, go to a pretty nice bowl, maybe go in 11-2, jumpstart us into next year.
Yeah.
Into the SEC. So that's what we got to be hoping for. But we need to get it right here. Now, 6 p.m. game at home.
Thank God.
That's helpful. Right?
Thank you.
That's helpful.
Yes.
So this is the beginning. Now, I've seen a little bit of West Virginia this year. They've got a running quarterback. We typically don't do that well against those. He's not a bean, but from Kansas. He's not that fast, but he's a good quarterback. He's a runner.
Well, we stopped the Cincinnati guy.
Yeah, he was good too. They got a tough, trio of running backs. One
managed to stop Ollie pretty good. So
that's true.
I'm not
got that going for him.
Because we were really worried about Ollie Gordon. Oh yeah, there were a bunch of. I should note real quick. I don't mean to derail, but there were a bunch of people on Twitter accusing the OSU. Because I was like, there were a couple of injuries where I'm like, geez, we're just beating them up. And I was just looking at Twitter and they're all like, oh, they're faking the injuries.
I think they were.
Did you see any of them?
I did.
Did you see any of that?
Yeah, and I heard some of the commentators, the OU commentators, talking about how they were faking injuries. So, it seemed like every other play there was somebody down and hurt. So. But that's what little brother has to do. Oh, mommy, my lip is hurting. He hit me. Oh. And then okay, hang on. Let's go ahead and fix you up here. And then okay, you okay? Go on. You can play again. And then here they are again, crying. So.
But West Virginia, they're not unbeatable.
Right.
But a good team, not to be taken lightly.
We should be able to win. We got to get our act together,
Especially on offense. My God.
Yeah, we got a tough game here with them. We have a lot of injuries, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, Stutzman was on the sideline, had his helmet on.
He was ready.
He looked.
Unfortunately,
I don't know if he was still hurt, but he looked like he was ready to go.
Yeah.
But I guess they were trying to. I guess they were just better safe than sorry. But I don't know.
Well, Stutzman probably wanted to be in uniform. They probably said, "Nah, you can just put your sweats on." It's like, "No, I want me my uniform."
Oh yeah. Also, a lot of people were mad that Stutzman wasn't on the Dick Butkus award.
Oh, he was not on there. I did not see that.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were really mad that he wasn't on the running.
He deserves to be in there, but of course, you lose a couple of games, then all of a sudden they're picking. For these awards, they usually
OU's fickle. Or not, football's fickle is what I meant to say, not OU.
Well, these sportscasters and guys that nominate you for that stuff, they're always going to pick guys off of the better teams. And so when you lose a couple of games, then all of a sudden you're not up for the awards.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we're a good team. We're just being dumb right now.
I did hear Stutzman was practicing this week. I heard Venable say he practiced today.
You know who I missed?
Who?
Anthony.
Our offense has changed since he's gone out, right? He gave us that extra speed guy, reliable receiver.
I know.
That we just, now we're down to Stoops. Nick has been good, but he's just not there. Farouk, he's hit or miss. So we have missed him quite a bit.
Dog just wants to see us today.
All right.
But yeah, just kind of I'm hoping this woke OU up, and a lot of people say I'm a Pollyanna fan. But well, all I can say is wasn't 49-0. That's the best.
You still stuck on that?
Oh no, that trauma has never left, Dad. That's been seared in my brain, Dad.
No, that's not going to happen again, son. That will not happen again. So let's talk about some other NCAA games. So you were talking about this earlier, but Texas, Kansas State. Texas has them beat.
What a debacle.
Texas is up like 27-7. I'm thinking, I'm working in the backyard getting ready for company to come over for Bedlam. and all of a sudden, here comes Kansas State back.
They're a scrappy team. Never underestimate the Wildcats, Dad. You should know this. They've beaten us a few times.
Couple of turnovers, then their kicker misses an extra point when they have a chance to take the lead.
An easy one too.
Yeah. They get it into overtime. Texas kicks a field goal. They have the ball first. They kick a field goal. Okay. All you got to do is score a touchdown here. And then they pull a Levy stunt and go into...
Poor quarterback just running around on fourth down, just flops over.
Oh, yeah. And then going for it on fourth down in overtime. Kick the field goal and go into extra overtimes. Give yourself a chance. I don't know. But anyway,
Kansas State was so mad.
Yeah, K-State loses that one 33-30 in OT. Clemson beats Notre Dame after everybody had called for the burial of Clemson, the Clemson Tigers. But
everyone was saying that dynasty was over.
Right,
but
that's what I was kind of thinking. Dabo
looks like Soybean Wind still has a couple of games in him.
Dabo pulled him out of the grave.
And also Notre Dame's kind of in our predicament because Brian Kelly pulled a Lincoln and went to LSU.
Yep. Georgia Bulldogs.
I was disappointed by that game because I thought Mizzou's actually giving them a game there, and then Georgia kind of took the pulse. I was like, dang it.
Yeah, they grabbed him by the throat and went ahead and won the game. So not bad though, 30-21. Mizzou did hang tough. Kansas beats Iowa State 28-21, which, saw that coming. And then one that we were talking about earlier, Washington Huskies, those dogs, put a butt kicking on Lincoln Riley, 52-42, and that ends the Alex Grinch era of defensive coordination with Lincoln Riley.
Overdue. I would say.
I could say so.
So many people on Twitter just being like, "What we warned you, USC. We warned you," and I have to agree. Like, we warned you this was going to happen.
Oh, they thought, "Oh no, he's coming to Los Angeles. He'll field. We're going to be able to recruit better here at USC. Okay, recruit better. He still can't coach defense."
Yeah. God, they were just, and it was a game there, and that's probably because of those magical offensive guru powers that Lincoln Riley has.
Yeah, Caleb tried to keep him in it, but there's just so much.
And poor Caleb was just crying after the game. There were some more spiteful OU fans who were like, "Man, lick up those tears," or something like that. I don't know.
Dry them up.
Yeah, or like it's like that episode.
I think he was upset at his manicurist for his painted fingernails. So I think he was crying about he'd broken a nail. So it wasn't about the game. So Bama beats LSU, and the Bama defense just drove quarterback.
Yeah, I saw that.
That looked bad. So.
But Dad, I have to ask: is water wet?
Yes, it is.
That was rhetorical.
And Bama wins. And they're going to be in the playoff. I hear what you're saying.
Seriously, they have to have like a 49-0 loss to get out of the. They would get a 49-0 loss, and they'd still manage to find a way to sneak in the playoffs. Like, I hate Alabama so much.
Lost at home against Texas, but they haven't lost again. So, Oregon State keeps Dion out of the win column again. That was all hype there at the first of the year, right? Beat a lousy TCU team. Yes, they were coming off of a national championship appearance, but they lost old Red, the quarterback. And TCU was not the same TCU, and then Colorado, and then they played USC tough, but USC and that defense just wasn't all that. So Dion's got work to do, but. Don't count him out. And then Ole Miss in a big or an SEC matchup. Ole Miss beats A&M 38-35. My question to you, Jimbo Fisher on the hot seat?
I don't know. Well, I've heard a lot of people call him a fraud, which I don't know.
They're paying all those players all that money and still losing?
I don't know. He's got Bobby Petrino as his offensive coordinator. I'm like, oh my god, yeah. I read that, and I'm like, dude, why? That guy's like an even trashier Lincoln Riley. Like, come on.
Yeah. So next week we've got OSU versus UCF. Now, wouldn't it be sweet if UCF went ahead and knocked them down a little bit?
That would be fun.
Knocked little brother back down. That would be so hilarious. It's at USC. I'd love to see OSU choke right after acting such a fool. And then we've got number 1 versus number 10, Georgia versus Mississippi. Georgia keeps rolling along. They're not going to get to 47.
I was like, oh, man.
Texas has TCU. You think TCU has one more big game in them this year?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just hope we bully them and just make them understand what they did to us last year. Just
Yeah.
I want that. Like, just no mercy, guys.
Speaking of bullying, USC doesn't get any easier. They're going to Oregon. Blowout alert!
Either that or they're going to play them tough and then just die in the last couple minutes.
Now, this was before your time, but this used to be the game of the year. Florida State versus the U, Miami University.
Oh.
Used to be the game of the year. But how the mighty have fallen. Florida State's up this year, but Miami.
Florida State's been kind of a little bit.
They've been wobbly, but I don't know if there's anybody in the ACC that can actually beat them. They'll probably make the playoffs and then lose the first game there. That's my prediction for them. And then Washington, number 5 Washington against number 13 Utah. Utah played the USC tough, but then got waxed by Oregon. So
Oregon is the real deal, man. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
I think Washington's going to get them there. Mizzou's number 16, Tennessee number 14. Should be a good typical SEC battle. Dion's got the Arizona Wildcats this week. Can he get back in the winning ledger?
I mean, he could, though Arizona's tough.
Yeah.
So don't take him lightly. And
Michigan, number 2's got Penn State, number 9. How is Penn State still number 9?
Well, they lost to, I think they've only lost to Ohio State, and they were like, they're number 1 for some reason. I don't know. But, I'm expecting that, I'm expecting the old Wolverines are gonna beat the Nittany Lions.
I'm predicting blowout alert. So we'll see what happens there, but I expect Michigan to roll there. Let's talk about our NFL. So Cowboys-Eagles.
Talk about a just WTF ending. Pretty good game up until around the final couple minutes.
Tight end doesn't make it into the end zone. They're at the half-yard line. There's one mistake. Dak steps out of bounds on the two-point conversion.
I want Baker.
Mistake 2.
I want Baker at Dallas. That's what I want.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
in those last minutes, just penalties on both sides. For some reason, the Eagles just don't go for the first down. I'm like, you guys got the game. Right. Just get the first down. Yeah. They don't do that. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, I'm a Dallas fan, lamenting the stupidity of this. And then Dallas gets down there. Bunch of penalties ends up getting them down there. I'm like, okay, Dallas might have something going here. Then Dallas starts getting penalties.
Yeah, it was a debacle.
It was... what happened to the standards of the NFL? Sloppy game.
Yeah,
it was pitiful.
Texas beat Baker and my Buccaneers 39-37. Baker drives them down, gets the lead, with just a few minutes left in the game, and then the defense can't hold the Texans out. This is C.J. Stroud. I didn't know how good he was going to be in the NFL.
He's been solid.
He's playing great. Had 400 yards of passing, so hats off to C.J.
I'm with the Texans. Texans have been a clown show for a long time.
Yeah, C.J.'s kind of turned them around this year, so they're not bad.
Yeah, they're in that kind of Deshaun where they're finally kind of getting their act together.
Yeah, they're breaking out. So, Chiefs beat the Dolphins 21-14 in Germany.
Yeah, I know, that's bizarre. Why do they keep...
Why?
No, I'm like, why? Why are you having football games in other countries? Yeah. They already have their football.
We can't sell them out here? I don't know. What are we trying to do here? So, I think it's part of the New World Order.
Oh, my God.
And then a lousy Steelers team keeps winning. Beat the Titans 20-16. How does the Steelers keep winning? They're terrible.
Steeler magic.
They're terrible.
Steeler magic. That
quarterback's lousy.
The little towels.
And then the Bengals beat the Bills. The Bills are up and down this year. I thought they were going to be a definite NFC Championship contender. I don't know if they were going to.
Yeah, they've been sloppy
beat
this
the
year.
Chiefs, but they've been sloppy, and the Bengals are starting to come back around.
Yeah, Bengals started sloppy, and I'm like, come on, guys, I know you can do better than that, because I've had a soft spot for the Bengals for a few years now. Even though I am a little salty that Joe Burrow smashed us in the playoffs, I do have a bit. I do like Joe Burrow. Yeah. Don't get mad at me, Sooner faithful. But yeah, it seems like they're getting back on track.
Yeah,
hopefully.
That was the beginning of, oh my gosh, I don't know if Grinch knows how to coach defense game. Didn't they put up 63 on us and could have scored 100 on us in that game? So, all right, next week's NFL, Cowboys, Giants. I mean,
yeah, it's a blowout.
That's a sure win,
We blew them out last time. Giants look pitiful against the... I was texting my friend Joey, who I used to work with, who's the sports guy. He's a Raiders fan. I'm just like, dude, I'm watching this Giants team. This is just pitiful. Like, I'd say the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL right now. But I think the Giants are a contender.
Yeah.
I thought they were actually starting to look up. And it's just pitiful.
Yeah. And
Daniel Jones is not good.
I think he may have torn his knee up too this week.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about that. So
yeah, we'll keep talking real quick.
Okay. And then we've got Ravens, Bengals. Should be a good game. Both the Ravens and the Bengals are playing well now. Then we've got the Bucks versus the Titans. I think this is an opportunity for Baker to get back into the win column. And then a game that's kind of not on... It's not on my radar necessarily. You know, on paper, wouldn't necessarily call this a big game. But the 49ers with 3 straight losses coming up against the Jacksonville Jaguars with 5 straight wins and coming off bye weeks. So, any thoughts on the 49ers versus the Jaguars?
I guess they're having a huge hangover after beating the Cowboys or something, because I was kind of shocked that they lost 3 in a row to the Browns. Which the Browns, they're not quite the clown show that they used to be, but I would still call them about a pretty middle-of-the-road team.
Yeah.
Lose to the Vikings, who's also a very middle-of-the-road team, but kind of not bad. Then they lose to, who else they lose
Broncos.
to? They lose to the Broncos. Now, the Broncos, that's a clown show. Just, with a past his prime, Sean Payton, coaching. Sorry, I said coding.
Past his prime, Russell Wilson.
And they also beat the Chiefs last week, which that was baffling.
Yeah.
Football truly is a fickle mistress.
This is why I don't gamble, Brett. I always tell you, this is why I don't gamble.
I was going to... You said that prediction earlier. I'm like, oh, man, then you say that, they're going to lose.
For sure. Anything I say, go the opposite. So, anyway, another fun weekend of football other than losing Bedlam. But any final thoughts on Bedlam? We're not Going to see it for a few years anyway, unless Texas loses, Kansas loses, and we went out, and then all of a sudden, oh, hi guys, we're in the Big 12 championship against you. Remember all that laughing and flipping us off as we were leaving the stadium? We remember that. We took receipts on that deal. Right?
Yeah.
So, Yeah,
this whole season's just been chaotic. Oh, my gosh. Wins, losses, big games. I mean,
close games.
Close
games. Close games. So,
I know.
That's why we have the show, right?
Yep.
Days of us.
Yeah, no, it's...
One thing is, I'll be glad to get away from these cheating Big 12 referees and these lower loser teams that we've been facing so long in the Big 12. I'm ready to go to the SEC. If we're going to lose some games, let's lose to Bama, LSU, Death Valley.
Yeah, I heard
to Auburn.
I've heard the LSU fans are pretty nasty.
Oh, they're the nastiest.
I've heard. In fact, they are the nastiest fans of college football.
They are the nastiest.
I think I told you this a few weeks ago, but my friend, her dad went to the Sugar Bowl when we played them, and apparently the LSU fans were just awful.
You wear purple into that stadium, and you go to the bathroom if you're going to cheer for your actual team that you're cheering for. So. And get your screams out in there. So.
Just have like a good cry in there.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, this week's over. Let's go on. Let's get this 10-2 record. I
wanna beat West Virginia. They beat us last year.
Let's do it.
I want that. They have a debt, and I want that money.
It's time to pay up, West Virginia. We let you win it last year in the cold rain.
With also really sloppy coaching and playing.
And missing field goals.
Missing field goals, yes.
Nothing's changed there, so hopefully we can get it straightened out. But the last thing I've got to say is, Booma!
Sooner!
Let's go Sooners.
Go Sooners, go.
We'll see you next week.
All right, and this has been yet another episode of Days of Us Sooners. Till next time.